I know Mac feels like he could play better. He holds himself to high standards, and we know there's more in there.
Detroit Lions head coach Dan Campbell is no longer dodging the questions. After another painful defensive breakdown in a loss that shook the fan base, Campbell finally addressed the issue everyone has been pointing at all season. With the playoffs looming and mistakes piling up, his words carried weight, urgency, and a clear message for his locker room. This was not coach speak. It was an honest response about accountability, trust, and whether this defense can actually turn things around before it is too late. One of the main talking points in Campbell's recent appearances has been the performance of defensive tackle Alim McNeill. Once seen as a cornerstone of the defensive front, McNeill has struggled to regain his previous form following a torn ACL. Against the Rams, he posted a disappointing 45.2 PFF grade and was part of a defensive unit that surrendered more than 500 yards of offense.
I know Mac feels like he could play better. He holds himself to high standards, and we know there's more in there, you know. And sometimes there's a lot of things that go into it, but sometimes you process things a little too much instead of cutting it loose. You know, you're thinking about the look, what is the formation, all these things. But I know he believes he can play better, and we all do. So Mac, he's going to go back to work, and he'll be all right.
Campbell's remarks highlight the mental component of returning from a major injury. Processing schemes and reacting on instinct are crucial for a defensive tackle, and Campbell's confidence in McNeill suggests the team is willing to be patient as he works his way back into top form. Another area of scrutiny has been the Lions' secondary, particularly cornerback D.J. Reed, who signed with Detroit as a marquee free agent last offseason. Reed's performance against the Rams was among his worst of the season, earning a league-low 29.5 PFF grade. Over the last 4 games, he has allowed 18 receptions for 302 yards. Only Amik Robertson has surrendered more receiving yards during that span. Still, Campbell was quick to defend his embattled cornerback. "Those guys, they're put out on an island," he said, "and I know everybody knows that. They're like quarterbacks. You get out there, and there's nowhere to run, nor to hide, and so you're not going to win all those battles. And sometimes things don't go your way, and you may have a little bit of a stretch. But I know him well enough to know that whatever it is, he's going to continue to work himself through it. He's going to come out of this, and he's going to be just fine. So, he went after it last week, he continued to work, and he's going to be all right. He'll be all right." This kind of public vote of confidence is exactly what players want to hear from their head coach. It's also indicative of Campbell's leadership style, one that blends accountability with unwavering support. The game against the Rams was a harsh reality check. In a critical third-quarter stretch, the Lions' defense gave up 3 touchdowns in just 12 plays. At the same time, the offense managed only 9 plays for 6 yards. That sequence, Campbell emphasized, changed the entire complexion of the game. "We had 3 touchdowns in 12 plays on defense," Campbell recounted. "Then we had 9 plays for 6 yards total in that kind of third-quarter stretch. That was tough. You do anything on any one of those series, offense or defense, and it changes the dynamic of the game. That was not good. That's what bit us." With the playoffs looming, Campbell stressed that discipline and focus are now more crucial than ever. The team faces a formidable opponent in the Pittsburgh Steelers next and must course-correct immediately to keep postseason hopes alive. "We got the right guys. We're a resilient team. We've got to win. We got Pittsburgh at home. We're going to get prepared for them. We know they're a physical team, well-coached, and in the hunt. We still got an opportunity, so we got to make the most of it." The defensive breakdowns against the Rams were not just isolated to the front line. Campbell noted that the Rams used pre-snap motions and tight end inserts to create confusion, forcing Detroit's linebackers and corners into difficult adjustments. He pointed out the need for sharper execution and better use of help on the back end. "We said going into the game, it was ground supremacy on both sides. We did not own the ground, which makes it extremely difficult defensively to defend those guys," Campbell said. "We tried to limit some of Stafford's production, but couldn't quite get there. We got to use our help better. Don't go out on your own and try to make it one-on-one. Use the help." Injuries have also complicated things. Cornerback Amik Robertson is nursing a hand injury and underwent an MRI to determine its severity. While Campbell is hopeful that Robertson can play, he acknowledged the added burden this places on the already thin secondary. "There are some things we can do to help," Campbell noted. "We try to get to some of that later in the game. Wherever you try to reduce stress in one area, you're putting it on somewhere else." We're trying to relieve a little bit of stress off one area and put it on another group and just spread the load. You want to do that on all sides if you can. Beyond injuries and defensive lapses, Campbell focused on mindset, an essential trait for teams in the playoff hunt. He challenged his players to grow from their mistakes, even if they were not directly involved in them. For young role players stepping into bigger roles, every rep matters. You keep changing it up, trying to address things in a different way. I do believe we'll get it cleaned up and correct those errors, he said. We got some guys who have been role players getting significant reps now. They got to grow from them. And finally, Campbell's tone shifted to urgency. With 3 games left, the room for error is gone. You can't have a streak without winning the first one, Campbell stressed. All our focus has got to be on Pittsburgh and everything we've got. His message was echoed by a reminder that the team must continue protecting the football and force more takeaways. We did a good job protecting the football. We got a takeaway. We got to continue to protect it, and we need more than one takeaway. Looking back at the Rams game, Campbell acknowledged he may have wanted to establish the run too aggressively during the infamous 9-play stretch. We could not execute in that 9-play stretch. We were not able to overcome the negative plays, the penalty, and the sack, he admitted. Still, he emphasized that protecting the ball and playing smart football remains the priority. Campbell also made it clear this wasn't about abandoning identity, but about refining it. He stressed that physical football still defines the Lions, yet execution, timing, and situational awareness must improve if they expect to win tight December games against playoff-level opponents. As for the controversial touchdown catch by tight end Colby Parkinson, Campbell didn't dwell on it. We'll ask about it, but the call stood, and that was all we had. In the end, Campbell's comments serve a dual purpose. He is defending his players publicly while demanding more from them behind the scenes. His approach is rooted in belief. Belief that his team can rebound, belief that veterans will find their rhythm, and belief that the Lions can still make a run if they execute. We don't have those types of guys to feel sorry for themselves. We go back to work, Campbell said. And with 3 games left, the Lions will need every bit of that work ethic, resilience, and belief to keep their playoff dreams alive.